This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Friday, the 9th day of June in the year 2023. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here's what we're tracking tonight. The Guyana Elections Commission today admitted that an error in the procurement order for election materials for at least 2 local authority areas resulted in a shortage of material and forced the electoral body to produce the needed documents locally. The chairman of the Elections Commission, retired Justice Claudette Singh, said despite that issue, the Elections Commission is set and ready for the hosting of local elections on Monday.
I'm pleased to assure you that GCOM is not only fully prepared, but is also confident that these elections will be implemented in accordance with the law, the electoral law. As the chairperson, I will surely guarantee that these elections will be conducted in a free, fair, transparent, and credible manner.
The last time local elections took place was 2018. Chief Elections Officer at GCOM, Vishnu Prasad, said the Commission's Secretariat is ahead of the game with regards to the implementation of the work plan for the local elections. He also confirmed the procurement issue, but indicated that the matter has been resolved.
A schedule of materials to be procured was prepared in accordance with the numbers of polling stations across local authority areas. This activity, the numbers were influenced from feedback from the returning officers through our logistics department right up to the Secretariat where the determinations were made. And so yes, we followed that based on the information we had when we ordered the materials. As it turned out, there was an error pertaining to the number of polling stations in 2 local authority areas.
Prasad explained that though the number of ballots printed for the local authority areas was correct, there was an insufficient number of statements of poll and tally sheets for at least 2 polling stations in those areas. He said the issue was brought to the attention of the Commission and approval was granted for the documents to be printed by the Election Secretariat.
Because of there not being enough time to get this very little bit of election material reprinted by the supplier overseas, we sought and received the approval of the Commission to have it produced locally. We have so done, and I can assure you now that there is no shortage. That has been addressed.
Further, the CEO confirmed that though the Election Secretariat published the lists of voters and their corresponding polling stations more than 2 weeks ago, there were a few changes made in recent days.
At least 2 polling stations we changed because of political objections to the place at which those polling stations would have been. However, the changes was from one building to another building right next door or very close by.
The GCOM CEO assured that all of the ballots, SOPs, and other election materials have been packed and are ready to be transported to the various local authority areas across the country. There are 80 local authority areas in Guyana. However, there will be no contest in 13 of them. Polling stations will open their doors from 6 o'clock on Monday morning and close at 6 in the evening. More news coming up in just a moment.
It's been a long time coming. Overdue, some might say, but now that it's here, it will change life forever, and it is here to stay. The future is now, transforming Guyana into the 21st century. Introducing GTT Fiber. Experience internet connectivity like never before. Speeds you deserve at prices you can afford from a name you can trust. Sign up today. GTT Fiber is here. GTT. Together, we rise faster.
Oh my lord. I just love to shop in this store. My customers, them gonna love all these things. So many different things in one place. Household items, electronics, toys, stationery, confectionery, exercise equipment, shoes and clothes for men, women and children, school things, costume, jewelry, perfume, makeup. Oh, look the makeup!
Giftland Office Max, Guyana's favorite department store.
Bust the flavors. We're full of flavors. Bust the flavors, that my crave for. We're full of flavors. Tell your neighbors about the bust the flavors. Grab a bust the flavors. Yeah, thirst buster. Grab a buster. Bust the flavor, taste the savor. Bust the flavors. Bust the flavors.
Know your polling station before Elections Day. GCOM is urging all voters to find out the polling stations where they are registered to vote at the upcoming local government elections. GCOM has established an Office of the Returning Officer in every local authority area. You can visit the Office of the Returning Officer to find out at which polling station you are registered to vote. GCOM has also posted the registers of voters and lists of polling stations on its website www.gcom.org.gy. Visit the GCOM website and enter your ID number in the cell provided for this purpose to get clear directions about the location of your polling station where you can vote. For more information, contact the GCOM hotlines on 225-027729, 226-6557 or 223-9650 or visit www.gcom.org.gy. LGE is Monday, June 12.
Strong and solid in countries far and wide. New India Assurance, we're standing by your side. Golden service, half a century and more. New India Assurance, our policies are secure. From the heart of India, we serve these islands. The strength that you can trust, you're safe when you come to us.
New India Assurance Company. Assurance when you need it most.
For your home, motor or business insurance, visit New India Guyana office, 58 Brickdam next to Star Computers. Telephone 226-0415-7. Comfortable parking available.
Well, a threat of court action did not stop the Guyana Prison Service from moving ahead with the cremation of the remains of prisoner escapee and convicted murderer Royden Williams, also known as Smalley. 2 days after a post-mortem examination that was not witnessed by relatives revealed that Williams died from multiple gunshot wounds, he was cremated following a short service at the Memorial Gardens Funeral Home in Lerpentier Cemetery. The funeral service was attended by a number of family members, including the dead man's parents, siblings, and children. The family wanted the body to be released to them for burial, but the prison service insisted that it still had custody of the remains and preferred a cremation. The dead man's sister said she met with prison officials, and despite her many pleas, there was no budging of their decision to cremate the remains.
I asked Mr. Elliott if I'm able to get the body. He said no, I cannot get the body. He said the body have to cremate. I can only see the body up to a certain point. He has to do what he has to do. It is his job. I said okay. He then asked me what I want. I said I just want the body. I said, can I take the body to Berbice? He said no. I said, can I take the body to right at Lapontier? He said no. He then said, if I cannot take the body to anywhere, the body has to cremate. He maintained, he said that like 3 times, the body has to cremate.
Earlier in the day, the dead man's father, in the company of his attorneys, reported that he was not allowed to witness a post-mortem examination of his son's remains. He said he was only allowed to identify the body at the morgue and was then told to leave the room. According to the father, he noticed a number of bullet wounds to his son's chest and burn marks on his hands and parts of the upper body. He said the family was not officially informed of a cause of death and has not been provided with any death certificate.
Wednesday, I went to visit Royden and see his body. There was a lot of bullet holes and a lot of like sticking off the tattoo off his skin.
The father's attorneys, Ronald Daniels and Nigel Hughes, said multiple efforts were made on behalf of the family to get the body released to the family, but all of those efforts were rejected. Late this afternoon at the Lerpentier cremation site, the staff went ahead with the cremation of the body, telling family members that they were acting on the instructions of the prison authorities. The ashes, one official said, will also be handed over to the prison authorities. 4 weeks ago, the death row inmate made a daring escape from the Mazaruni prison under a hail of gunfire. 2 weeks after, the police indicated that he had been shot dead by members of the joint services along with an accomplice. Another alleged accomplice had been shot dead earlier by the joint services under questionable circumstances. When the escapee and his accomplice were shot dead by the joint services last week during their Bartica operation, only one gun was reportedly recovered at the scene. General Secretary of the People's Progressive Party, Vice President Bara Jagdeo, wants the citizens of the nation's capital city, Georgetown, to give his party a chance to govern their affairs at the local level. At a rally in Rheinveld last night, Mr. Jagdeo said a PPP-led Georgetown City Council will enjoy the support of central government. Historically, the municipality of Georgetown has been won overwhelmingly by the People's National Congress Reform, which is the major party in the APNU coalition. Mr. Jagdeo is hoping that citizens of Georgetown will make a switch to the PPP on Monday.
It's a big task, but it's up to you, the city. Let's show, we say give us one chance. You've had 60 years nearly. Give us this chance to show the residents of Georgetown what we're about. Give us one chance. And if that happens, they will have our full support. They will have our full support. So everything depends on you now.
As he shared a stage with former city mayor and former longtime member of the PNC, Patricia Chase Green, the general secretary of the PPP assured the residents of Georgetown that there will be no increase in rates and taxes under the PPP.
The rates would have gone up. But the only reason they couldn't accomplish this plan because in 2018 is because we filed a no confidence motion and then we won in 2020. They were planning to increase rates and taxes throughout the country. Then we said we're not in favor of any increase in rates and taxes, and today I stand here again and say we're not going to do that, regardless of the lies that they're telling to people in Georgetown.
Mr. Jagdeo's assurances come at a time when many municipalities, even with the support of government subvention, continue to struggle financially due to a shortage of revenue. He also said there will be no new valuation of properties in the capital and therefore no increase in rates and taxes, even as more and more high-rise buildings continue to be erected across the city. Jagdeo said development will be taken to many communities across Georgetown under the PPP's leadership.
South Georgetown is going to be the epicenter of change, development here, because with all the roads that we are building and the drainage system, you would start seeing businesses shifting to this area. As you drive down the road, maybe 5 minutes from here, you would have an international hotel, a new hospital, several shopping malls, just 5 minutes away. That will start transforming this whole area.
Meanwhile, former Georgetown mayor, now PPP candidate Patricia Chase Green, who was embroiled in that parking meter scandal, took no blame last night for that fiasco. Instead, she blamed the former government. Although she played a leading role in the negotiations for the parking meter contract and defended it to its death, the former mayor denied being corrupt.
We talk about corruption and we talk about the parking meter. I tell them over and over. I didn't wake up a morning and walk out and say parking meter in Georgetown. I didn't do it. And if it's corrupt, well, then the whole government corrupt.
Chase Green said she has no apology for crossing over to the PPP. According to her, it was a conscious decision. Although she is a candidate for the PPP in Monday's elections, she has been placed on the party's proportional representation list and not its constituency list.
The voting process. When you go to the polling station to vote on local government elections day, you will follow these steps. Step 1. Check the official list of voters at the polling station to ensure you are listed there to vote. Step 2. Present your ID card to the GCOM official. Your ID card will be verified along with your name, address, ID number and photograph on a folio that will be at the polling station. Step 3. The GCOM official will check your fingers for electoral ink and if none is found, give you a ballot paper and provide directions for marking and folding it. The GCOM official must stamp the back of your ballot paper at the top half and bottom half with the 6-digit number of the polling station. Step 4. Proceed to the voting compartment to mark your ballot and fold it as you were shown. Step 5. Show the folded ballot to the clerk. Dip your finger in the electoral ink and place your ballot paper into the ballot box. Step 6. Peacefully leave the polling station. For more information, contact the GCOM hotlines on 225-027729, 226-6557 or 223-9650 or visit www.gcom.org.gy. LGE is Monday, June 12.
Still in the world of politics, chairman of the APNU, opposition leader Aubrey Norton is urging supporters of the APNU not to be complacent with the upcoming local elections. He called on the party's supporters to show up and cast their ballots for the party and its candidates at Monday's elections. During a public meeting on the East Coast last evening, Mr. Norton said Monday's elections must be seen as a vote of no confidence against the governing PPP, adding that the party's policies continue to fail the majority of the Guyanese people.
My friends, I urge you, come out on Monday and vote overwhelmingly for the APNU. I say to you, the APNU has the policies. The APNU has the programs. It has the human resource needed to implement them.
According to Norton, who's also the leader of the People's National Congress, the PPP has been an obstacle to development in localities, explaining that the government has starved many NDCs and townships of their subventions. He said Guyanese must reject such a strategy.
What the government needs to do is to give the NDCs and the municipality the money and let them account for it and look after. They are so wicked.
Norton said he's confident that the APNU will do well at Monday's elections. He said the party has been doing a lot of groundwork, which he's confident will see results. This weekend, officials of the APNU are sweeping across the country in a final push ahead of Monday's local government elections. 1 week after members of the discipline services went to the polls for the local government elections ahead of the rest of the country, the Guyana Elections Commission has revealed that 47% of the more than 9,000 members of the discipline services who are registered to vote cast their ballots. At a press conference today, the Deputy Chief Elections Officer Anil Giddings disclosed that a 47% turnout for the discipline forces is actually an increase over the turnout at the last local government elections in 2018. And in spite of reports that some members of the discipline services were unable to vote due to their names not being found on the voters list at their assigned locations, the Chief Election Officer Vishnu Prasad maintained that no one was disenfranchised.
As far as I'm aware, every single who turned up to vote were allowed to vote, providing their names are on the list for the particular ballot station. Now, let me go back a bit. When I spoke to the preparation of the list of voters for these respective discipline forces, these lists were signed off by persons authorized to do so on behalf of the respective forces. The preparation of these lists are done in collaboration with us. And I need to explain that we at GCOM will never know where a rank is placed, where a rank is stationed.
Prasad said members of the discipline services who did not get to vote last Friday will have the opportunity to cast their ballots in their local authority areas on Monday. He also confirmed that some members of the discipline services who voted last Friday have been asked to recast their ballots due to a mix-up.
So we had 2 cases of ballots being incorrectly issued on D, meaning the ballot for one person was erroneously issued to another person. Now, we can speculate as to why it would have happened. Even the person to whom the ballot was issued did not recognize that what was issued was a wrong ballot, and therefore that person went and voted with that ballot. So the outcome of that is that the ballot, having been marked, will find itself in an envelope to go to a constituency to elect a party, a group, or a candidate for which the person whose ballot it in fact was might not have intended to vote that way. And therefore, that ballot could not, cannot, and will not be counted as a valid ballot. It was issued in error.
Prasad said because of that mix-up and other errors, at least 6 other ballots became tainted, and the affected persons have been asked to return to the polls.
Now, the same situation happened in another ballot station and affected another constituency. In that case, 6 other ballots became tainted. They had to be removed. Now, it was and it is through no fault of the persons whose ballot became tainted that their ballot will now have to be voided. So at the level of the commission, a decision was taken that we have to ensure that those persons are allowed to vote again, and that it is our responsibility to do everything we can so as not to place a burden on those persons to come and vote again on election day.
According to the CEO, the affected voters have been engaged individually, and they have all agreed to accept the help of the Elections Commission to ensure that come Monday they are able to cast their ballots a second time. The Guyana Elections Commission has warned that the use of cameras and those cell phones in voting stations is strictly prohibited. The commission published a notice in the local media today warning against persons using their cameras or their phones to snap photographs while in the voting booths. GCOM explained that pursuant to the provisions of Section 84 of the Local Authorities Election Act, the general public is notified that the use of cameras and or cell phones inside of any polling station or voting compartment during the conduct of the local elections on Monday is strictly prohibited. During a press conference yesterday, the APNU accused the PPP of intimidating citizens who traditionally support the APNU and requesting that they take photographs of their vote. APNU Member of Parliament Amanda Walton Desir alleged that a number of her party supporters, specifically those employed under the government's part-time job initiative, were being asked to take photos of their ballot when they vote on Monday. She said the party is in receipt of a number of similar complaints, especially for Linden and here in Georgetown. Earlier this week, the APNU in a statement expressed alarm over reports that individuals were being forced to take photographs of their ballots as a prerequisite for keeping their jobs. The opposition party has also lashed out at the candidate of the PPP who showcased a ballot from the Discipline Services vote, showing that her party had received the support of one of the electors.
Food Max Supermarket, located on the ground floor of the Giftland Mall, is your one-stop shop for all your grocery needs. We stock a variety of imported frozen meat and food products, fresh produce, and pet supplies, freshly made bread. Rotisserie chicken and patties are also available daily. Shop in comfort today at Food Max and let our courteous staff assist you in satisfying your shopping needs. Food Max, the fresh food specialist.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true, or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
Look who's in the mix now. The new Buster Soda Water. 0 calories, 0 sugar, 0 artificial flavors. 100% refreshing. Taste Buster Soda Water today. Buster Soda Water. Now available for only $120.
Fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Protect your fuel system, boy. High mileage and performance, boy.
Guyana Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guyana's Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive!
With your regional and international news tonight, I'm Svetlana Marshall. In the region, trillions of dollars in reparations are owed to nations affected by slavery. A recently concluded study on the quantification of reparations for transatlantic chattel slavery in the Americas and the Caribbean has found. According to the Jamaica Gleaner, the report identifies the reparations that are due in respect of 31 countries in which TCS was practiced, according to Judge Patrick Robertson, former honorary president of the American Society of International Law and the project's initiator, who spoke at the report's launch on Thursday at the regional headquarters of the University of the West Indies. To assess the reparations that are due, it must be established that the injuries or harm suffered by the enslaved are the consequence of wrongful conduct by those who carried out TCS. The economic estimations were made in the context of the harms experienced during the enslavement and post-enslavement periods. The calculations in the report were done by a group of U.S. economists from the Brattle Group, guided by a team of lawyers, historians, and history students. In his presentation of some of the findings in the report, Robertson disclosed that Britain is required to pay 14 countries a sum of $24 trillion, of which Jamaica would receive approximately $9.5 trillion. Suriname has expressed its appreciation to India after the Asian country rescheduled the US $39 million owed to it by the Dutch-speaking Caribbean community country, the Suriname Communications Service has reported. It said that as a result of the Indian initiative, Suriname now only has to come to a debt restructuring plan with the People's Republic of China as one of its major foreign bilateral creditors. The SCS said the agreement to reschedule the Indian loan was finalized this week. The SCS said the rescheduling is being carried out under several conditions, including for bilateral loans to be repaid in 20.5 years. India has signed a maximum annual fixed interest rate of 1.20% to the debts, which had a variable interest rate plus a margin of 0.5% or 2% based on the current loans. And finally tonight, international news. Former U.S. President Donald Trump has been charged with mishandling hundreds of classified documents, including about U.S. nuclear secrets and military plans, the BBC reports. The 37-count indictment accuses him of keeping the files at his Florida estate, including a bathroom and a shower, and lying to investigators. It alleges he then tried to obstruct the investigation into the handling of the documents. Mr. Trump, who's running for president again in 2024, denies any wrongdoing. The 49-page indictment contains the first ever federal charges against a former U.S. president. It says the classified documents Mr. Trump stored in boxes contain information about the United States nuclear programs, defense and weapons capabilities of both the United States and foreign countries, potential vulnerabilities of the United States and its allies to military attack, plans for possible retaliation in response to a foreign attack. Mr. Trump's first court appearance in the case will be in Miami, Florida, on Tuesday, the eve of his 77th birthday.
And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.